There we go. Hey guys, gals, good evening. 40 Grit here, 40 Grit Guitars. Hey, tonight is an extremely special event for me. I have spent the last, I spoke to John last week and we spoke again today. I can't stop talking to this guy. So I'm super excited for my channel. I'm super excited for you guys. I first met John at a Lynch Bob show out here, and I approached him because I'm geeky like that, and just started talking to him about guitar stuff. And he sat there. He was very cool and very nice to me, and sat there and talked to me for had a bit a half hour sitting outside. George had gone to the hotel, and we were just sitting outside talking. And then I was watching the Rat shows the other day, or the Piercy DeMartini shows, and I saw him handing Warren his guitar, and I was like, "Oh my God, John got the gig." So I hit John up, and I am so lucky because tonight from back east we have Mr. John Thayer in the house. John, good evening, sir.
How's it going? How you doing, guys?
How you doing? Hey, thanks so much for being here. I've got so much to go over. I've got a bunch of people in the chat right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get to it, with regards to my questions, and then we'll let the chat take over because I've been bombarded all week about people wanting to ask you questions. So I put some questions together. I asked some of my friends, my close friends, and I guess my first question to you would be, how long have you been teching? How long have you been doing this?
Been doing it about the last 10 years.
10 years. And what was your first gig?
When I was 21, I worked for a local guy
Local
in
guy?
town, and then I didn't really do it for a while. And crazily enough, my first guitar gig was George
Oh, that's
after that.
you and I laughed the other day. You said, "Oh, here, I've got to tell you the story about how I got the gig." And you started laughing. And I said, "No, let's save it. Let's save it because I want my reaction on the show." So you're going to explain how you got that gig.
Basically, I've been in the business like most of my life, some aspect of it. Um, and I was doing catering, rock and roll catering at a big venue in town. And I ran into a mutual friend, and I said hey to the one friend that texted him. He's like, "Who's this?" And I hadn't given him my new number yet. Stupid. And called him, and he was like, "Well, I'm doing Lynch Mob in 2 days. You want to go be my backline tech? There's no money, but you can go watch George play, and bring your tools." And because back then they were just basically hiring somebody to be a tech for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Promoter would hire somebody. The dude blew him off. I teched for him, and it was like 2 days before that I called my buddy. So if waited 2 days to call him, boom, I wouldn't have gotten a chance to do it. And George liked me and got to work a few more shows like over the next few weeks with them because they were up on an East Coast run, and it led from there.
Wow. Wow. What an opportunity. Would you say a backline tech, where they also, if you're running backline, do they also have a guitar tech there, or were you just doing everything? Backline means everything, I assume.
Well, usually it's the back line. The way we tour usually is we get gear provided for us at each of the venues.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody's got to bring it in, set it up. So my buddy does that as well as sound and lights. So I went in and basically set up the amps, the drums, all that nonsense, and then teched for George for the day. And crazily enough, it turned into something.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I took the opportunity.
No, please go, please.
I took the opportunity to do the other gigs, and it was like just drove myself, took the chance to do them because it was like, how many times am I ever going to get a chance to tech for George? So I took the opportunity, and we just started working. So we branched out from there.
Wow. Um, what do you think, in your opinion, and seeing that you and I have talked now for, I can't stop talking to you, bro. With regards to your, you've tech for Nuno, you've tech for Lynch, and now you're teching for Warren DeMartini.
Yeah,
Uh,
fingers crossed on that one. I've done
yeah,
one. I got another one coming up. They're playing. Him and Steven are playing M3.
yep.
Um, and then we go from there.
Okay. My question to you is seeing that you've been, well, I'm sure that's going to go, it's going to run its course, because I mean, if you've teched with George and you've teched for Nuno, I mean, like those guys have the cream of the crop. So what makes a good tech when you're out there, what you've seen on the road? What do you feel makes a good, what is it that makes a good tech, in your opinion?
You got to be able to do multiple things. I mean, it's like obviously you got to take care of the guitars and amps and all that stuff. You got to get along with your artist. I mean, you could be the greatest tech in the world, but if you don't get along with the artist, you're not going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're teching, what does a day in the life consist of? When you're like what time does your day end? What time does your day start? And if you could just run through everybody, what a day in the life with Warren or with George or with Nuno looks like.
Um, Pretty much it's either start in the morning, like 9, 10, depending on the venue, either from a hotel or a bus. Bus is nice because you pull up, you wake up right at the back of the venue and walk into work.
Mhm.
Um, Go in, make sure everything's set up. It kind of varies because, like Lynch Mob, we like I said, we get backline, extremely bring everything. So it's a little bit
Oh,
different
wow.
process.
Okay.
It's so it's setting up cabs, and sometimes I'm a bass tech as well. So it's setting up both rigs, getting them ready, getting my little world ready, and then get ready for line check.
Hmm.
Get lunch in there so at a certain point, get breakfast when you get off the bus and everything if you want, and depends on the tour and everything. Um, do line check and then wait for the band to come in and do sound check.
Okay. And
And
then
then
when, oh no, please go ahead.
basically go from there, get everything ready for show. Um, get dinner, chill depending on what time you're going on. Um, do a show and then pack it up.
Okay. Uh, when you're so let's just say George, for instance, what's the maximum guitars that George is bringing to a show? Like three maybe, or
Occasionally we for three, a lot of times it's just two of them.
Mhm.
Because some nights he won't even switch. Some nights we'll go back and forth a few times. We were actually lucky. We're normally like weekend warrior, fly in, drive to shows, 3, 4, whatever, fly home. We actually did almost 2 months at the end of January through mid-March, where we had our own gear. So we had three guitars out with us, which was kind of nice.
Yeah. So is he changing strings every day, or are you doing it every other, or when are you changing strings?
I'm doing it every couple of shows.
Every couple? Yeah, I figured it was
Yeah.
going to be every couple. Okay.
I mean, it might be 3, 4, depending on how much it's getting used. If we got, like when we had three, one was basically a hotel warm-up guitar. Um, had one of them get played during the show, and then we kind of alternate. So I'd get like maybe 3 shows out of it, 4 shows, depending on how worked on they were getting.
What guitar was he? What guitar was he using for the hotel warm up?
The GL56.
The 56. Okay. And
Yeah.
then he had the Sunburst Tiger, and he was using that snakeskin covered one for a while too, right?
Um, no, I don't remember a snakeskin one.
Okay.
I know
Yeah.
we've had a couple of them come in. There's some people with Mr. Scary Guitars, the ones he builds that brings them to shows, and there might have been a
Hmm.
couple of snake ones there. His other one was the Desert Eagle,
Yep.
the
Okay.
Native American Kamikaze, the new
Yep.
ESP one.
Hmm.
that they're doing, because they're doing that in ESP and LTD. Throw a shout out to them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out to ESP, LTD, and whoever Charvel and Washburn and it just doesn't end with all the guys that you've been working for. Let me ask you a
Bless.
question. When you said that you got to have skills on guitars, your skills on amps, what is the most challenging repair that you've dealt with at a gig that you can remember where you were like, this is going to be a good one?
Had a nut strip out on me.
Oh, okay.
The shelf
Yeah.
actually stripped out on the low E and the A. And yeah, it was not a good situation because it was not fixable. We got through the night and I cobbled together a new one out of a couple other guitars the next day.
Wow. Huh. What is the biggest well, I guess that could go along with what my first question was the your biggest oh shit moment.
Yeah, that was a good one. I had a saddle come loose on a bar 5 minutes before a show.
Mm. Oh
Been told
wow.
I want to use that guitar, so I had to
Mm.
get it fixed, and it
Who
was
is that?
that was one of Nuno's main
Yeah.
axes.
Yeah, oh, man.
Yeah, that was rough. Um, the boss standing over the shoulder, and it was funny because every time I turned my head with the flashlight, our front of house guy thought it was the signal to go because I start the show with the flashlight.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing him over my ears and I'm yelling to my monitor guy because he's got to talk. No, don't start the show. I got this thing ripped apart. I'm trying to get the saddle locked down and get it intonated. And I somehow very lucky. I thank whoever, and it happened, and we were maybe like 3-4 minutes late going on.
Oh man.
So it
That's
wasn't
it?
horrible,
That's
but
easy.
yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, the shelf stripping in the middle of the show was kind of rough, and Nuno's good, and he went, I'll just roll with it. And every time he did a dive bar, he would just touch up the low E a little bit and
Mm.
roll.
Okay. So it was the
Oh,
low E saddle?
yeah, it was well, no, it was the locking nut for the low E and the A.
Lucky enough for the okay. All right. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Understood. Okay. Um
So,
Let's see. What's the most guitars you prepared for a gig? Like you went to the gig, and they said, "Hey, welcome here, and hey, this is what we're setting up for tonight." What's the most amount of guitars you had to prepare for a gig?
I think with Sebastian Labar when I was out with Tantric for a while.
Okay, how many was that
Oh man,
roughly?
I had a full 8 boat, I think. With it, because there was a couple of acoustics and there's like double neck, and Baz had a couple of his dad's, rest his soul, Jeff's guitars.
Yeah,
He had the white double neck, and then one of his old Kramers and some Les Pauls and stuff like that, and we used a lot of guitars.
yeah, huh? Wait, like Berettas or what?
Um, yeah, he had one Beretta. I cannot for the life of me remember the paint job. It was one of Jeff's ones that was painted up, and it was very cool guitar.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, he just had a few of them. We had some alternate tunings and stuff like that, so we had a lot of guitars. Let's put it this way. First thing I got to do walking into rehearsal is he handed me the double neck and went, "Here, can you change the strings?"
Oh God.
and
Oh my God. Ugh. What?
and you know how those things are.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. During my time at Sir, this isn't about me at all, but I remember during my time at Sir, they did the NAMM show at the shop, and they assigned me to Doug Aldrich. And Doug Aldrich came in, and I got to hang with Doug and talk with him and stuff. I've shared the conversation on my channel, but there's
Doug's
there's
cool.
oh yeah, cool, like way cool, like really nice guy, and I've shared my story, but the pressure's there, man, and it just goes to show the true professional. Those guys aren't as good as they can be unless you're ready to go, unless
Oh
you got
yeah.
them ready to go. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Well,
a
I
lot of
mean,
pressure there.
I don't want to call this a luxury, but we make life easy for them.
Yep.
They're able to come in, just grab a guitar, play, not have to worry about setting stuff up and everything, and it just makes life easier.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing big shows, they can't. Once you get to a certain point, the band can't come in and set their own stuff up. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. Uh, I was going to ask you. So, John hit on the Mr. Scary guitars already today. John and I spoke for quite a while today. I can't stop talking to the guy, but we were talking about Kramer's. He's a big Kramer fan. He just striped up that Kramer back there. That's a John. You want to pull it down? You want to grab it? Your striped one? He's building this one right now. We spoke about it. This is the kind of stuff that we like doing on the channel. He just painted this one and assembled it. And you want to go over it, John?
Basically, it's my old Kramer Focus body with a ESP neck on there.
And you got the neck from where?
Gentleman named George from our parts bin.
From a parts bin, an old ESP neck. Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic.
Actually, sorry, I'm actually eyeballing here a couple of these questions here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that right now. The only thing that I was gonna hit on two things. I was gonna hit on the Mr. Scary guitars that George does. You and I were talking about that today, and John is involved in the build process on the for the Mr. Scary guitars. So he builds with George, and I thought that was really cool to get to talk to him about that today. So if you have any questions on that stuff, John is knee deep in with George building those. And then the thing I want to say just before we end up going to questions is the Sunburst Tiger that George. I could share this, right, John? You're okay with
it? No, it's okay.
Okay, the Sunburst Tiger that George has been playing is John's guitar. So imagine going on tour with George Lynch and George is playing your Sunburst Tiger for every show. That's just freaking amazing, man. So that's just so awesome. So here, let me get to some of these questions here. Let's get the chat involved here. So let's see.
Thank you on the cool guitar.
Yeah, everybody's talking.
Not much crazy glue, a little bit of here and there, but yeah, I usually try and stay away from that stuff with the guitars. But somebody asked that question, so
here we go. John, have you been to tech for? You've been to tech for some legendary guitarists. Who is one guitarist from history, either dead or alive, who you would have always wanted to be their guitar tech for, and why?
Man, I get to do the three that I love. Man, that's a tough one. I don't know, maybe Randy or Eddie for a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, three that I get to work with right now are pretty much my top five, and then Eddie and Randy in there. So, man, I don't know. Maybe like it'd be kind of interesting work Hendrix for a day or two or whatever if you could go back.
Yeah. Who's your Mount Rushmore? Who's your four top?
Well, that's really got to be a five because I mean, George, Nuno, Warren, Eddie, and Randy.
Yeah, yeah. Mine is very similar. I just George, DeMartini, Randy, and Ed are on mine. So let's see here. Here's another question from let's see here. Fisticuffer wants to know what your favorite guitar is behind you.
Probably got to be my Tiger. I mean, my Edwards Les Paul's nice, but my Tiger is just like awesome guitar.
What pickups are in that right now?
That's got the Arcane 13 in it.
Okay.
Which is the George pickup.
Which is the Mr. Scary, right?
Mm-hmm.
You answered the crazy glue?
Yeah, not much. Occasionally.
Do you use the slow or the thin?
I got just the stuff you get at like Rite Aid or Walgreens or
The
something,
thin.
the
Yeah.
semi-thin, yeah.
John, I remember reading somewhere that Nuno prefers very heavy gauge strings on his guitars. Which gauge does he actually use? And then is it hard to take a bend on strings when you play his guitars?
For me, yeah, we're doing a 52 to 9 set, a hybrid.
Wow.
So it's heavy bottom. Um, and yeah, it's a little rough, but I get used to it after a couple of days. And
Hmm.
but yeah, I mean, they play good, so.
Bar J says, show must go on no matter what. You got to be ready for anything. Understood. Yeah, I get that. I'm
Oh
sure he gets that
yeah.
as well.
Yep.
Uh,
You do unless it's freaking lightning, or a windstorm and you're outside, that's you pretty much go.
I just watched your video on Nuno and Pat's rig. I watched that as well. That was a cool rig rundown.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, the venue we were at, the Ryman, it was awesome. I mean, that's the old Grand Old Opry right there and stuff. And yeah, that was cool. Those guys came down and ran them through the stuff, and not much to really run through with them. Just the guitars basically and stuff that we got out with us. But yeah, it was cool.
John, can you share how George likes his action for a lynch mob show?
Um, I'd have to kill no. It's low, but it's not like microscopic. It's like most of the time the dudes want to like have to. They want it so it plays easy, but they still got to want to work a little bit at it.
Hmm.
So it's like, I mean, it's set up decent. Oh, I can't even remember what number I'm at, like 0.060 or something like that. I can't remember what it is on that thing. Um, but they play nice.
Mm. What gauge strings are on it right now?
That one we use 9.5 to 44 Diodarios.
Okay, you can see on the lives with George that he's working. He's
Oh
working
yeah,
on his bend. So yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that you say that that they want to work a little bit.
yeah. I mean, you don't want the thing too like effortless to play. You want to work at it a little bit. And it's nice because those like 9.5s, I think we are talking about it. They're a little stiffer than the 9 to 42s.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a nice set. It's not real rubbery on a Strat and everything. So, but yeah, I mean they played easy, so it's not like oh my god, I got action that's like this high and stuff on there.
Hey,
I don't know.
Nuno was using a detuner, which means that he probably had that bridge blocked, right? Is he still using a detuner or no?
Yeah, we actually started using it again. He's I've been with him what year and a half now, and it's always been blocked as
Hmm.
long as I've been there. And but yeah, about a year or so ago, we started using the detuners again, and they're real nice. It's so
Yeah.
much easier because he would have to like leave the set screw in, roll that out to get down to that C sharp and it just pop the thing out, pop it back in. We get them from Adam Revere over at FU Tone.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it makes it so much easier. But yeah, I think he's always had it blocked.
Hmm.
I mean, it's always been since I've been there, and the things are cool. If they're working right and everything, they like it makes it pretty easy just to boom, boom, and drop and come back and stuff.
Yeah, you got to set those up right. Sometimes they take a minute. Yeah, shout out to FU Tone, Adam Reaver over at FU Tone, a great guy. Always hooks me up. Always takes good care, and we always get to see the cool pictures when Adam goes to the shows and takes pictures of stuff. I shared the other night the pictures he took of the cross swords when he was at the
Dude,
show.
that was I gotta admit, man, that was one badass guitar.
Okay, so
I
hey,
mean,
let's go back to Warren now. So we really haven't even talked about Warren yet. So how did you get the Warren gig?
Basically same management is extreme.
Okay. So same company, and they just hit you
Yeah.
up. You were available.
Yeah, so it was like same management, so it was just like he went, okay, you need a tech, I got a dude, and so I'm gonna do as many gigs as I can with him right now.
Okay. And have you been to any of the rehearsals, or did you just go show up for that one gig?
No, I just showed up in Connecticut and did the show.
Okay. And
I
and
actually
so
literally met him that morning.
really, how'd
I
that
met him
go?
at a yeah, I met him at a club like maybe 5, 6 years ago
Yeah.
for like 2 minutes and stuff, but that was basically the first time I met him, was like, "Hi, how you doing?" Yeah, I'm your new tech."
Yeah. That was it?
Yeah.
Wow. Tell me about the cross swords. What makes that guitar so amazing?
Dude, well, it's the original. I
Yeah.
mean, and super wide neck on the thing.
Yeah.
It's just cool guitar. I mean, come on, that's one of the iconic guitars, and it's the original one. So,
Yeah. Do you think that's an R5 shelf? I've been told that's an R5 shelf, and he's got an R3 on it now.
um, no, I think that's an R5 nut, the 1 and 5/8 nut, the what is it, 42 mil or whatever. Um, but the neck is, what is it?
One and
1
three
and
quarter?
No, it's bigger than 3/4.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not
Wow.
it's not quite classical, but yeah, dude, I was shocked.
Is the string spacing still crazy, or is it more
No,
narrowed with the
it's
smaller
in
nut?
tight. It feels just like that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's got the same nut as that one on it, but it's just a
Okay.
wider neck.
Yeah.
So it's like the nut is in a little bit, so you got a lot of room to wiggle, which is nice.
God, man, that's so cool. Yeah, I think he's got the RTM in that right now, the Duncan RTM, and
Yeah, I
then
think so.
yeah, and then let me jump back in here. Very cool stripes on your guitar. Very cool stripes on your
Thank you.
Kramer. Somebody says. Let's see here. Guitar Man 45 says when I've seen George Lynch a couple months back, I did not know he uses a looper for some of his tunes.
No.
I've never heard of a looper on.
No, we don't.
I've never seen a looper.
No, we don't have a looper in the board.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. John, does Nuno still use really high action from Bent Tom?
No.
No.
I
Heavier
mean,
gauge strings, but regular action.
yeah. Yeah, it's relatively low. It's not butter. It's just above that. And like I said, to work a little bit. Um, but yeah, it's a little bit higher and everything.
Okay. Okay. Joe McGraw says I went to visit Nashville. Never been there, and happy they restored the Ryman. I'll get there soon.
Oh yeah, dude, awesome place. I've been
Okay.
lucky. I've played there twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. What band? What's your band?
No, I mean, I've worked there twice.
You've worked there twice, but you've
Yeah.
got a gigging band too, right?
No,
I thought you did. No.
no, I don't bother with that anymore.
No, yeah, you and me both, buddy. I think you and
It,
I
it,
were
it's
laughing the other day. Oh, you've got to tell your story about I work for these three guys. This is amazing. Get your pencils out. I've worked for these three guys, and I plug into their stuff, and what happens, John?
oh, dude, you sound like you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's funny, but I mean, I like, as we've talked about, they can plug into somebody else's rig and they're still going to sound like them.
yep. And what are the three? What are the three things that it comes from?
Oh, pretty much your head, your hands, and your heart.
I think that's amazing.
I mean,
That's amazing.
you can put a guitar player on a little Black Star Fly, and he's going to sound like him. And you couldn't put him on the biggest rig possible, and it's still going to sound like him.
Yep. Yeah, that's freaking. When you said that the other day, I was like, I'm writing that one down. I'm going to use that one. because that's great. We've all heard it before. I went and plugged into Ed's stuff. I think even Nuno said it. Nuno said he plugged into Ed's rig, and he still sounded like Nuno. He didn't sound
Yep.
like Ed. So, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I get to plug into all theirs, and I ain't got near the chops, but I don't. I got to try and come as close as I can,
yeah,
um, chunk wise, because I mean that's part of your job as a tech is to try and emulate the player you're working for.
yeah,
So it's like, I mean, obviously, if you're doing like bass player, it's all right. They run in a pick or whatever, or fingers, and with a guitar player, it's all right. You got to run their pick. Um, so it's you get as close to their sound as possible when you're line checking for the front of house guy.
yeah. Is Extreme using in ears, or is Rat
Um,
using in ears?
two do, two don't.
Yeah. Does Nuno?
Oh no,
No. Yeah, I didn't think so.
no man, he wants to hear his cabs.
Yep. Yep.
He wants to hear his guitar coming out of speakers, not. I mean, in-ears sound great and all, but it's not quite the same. You're isolated. You're not feeling everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're always
Pete
you
Thorne had
can't.
mentioned that.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's great because let's put it this way: you go out on the back loading dock, and it sounds the same as if you're standing up on stage
Mhm.
with ears, but you can't go find your happy spot. And
Mm.
you know how guitar players are. We like finding that little spot on stage where everything just sounds good.
Yep.
And you can't do that with ears.
Yep. I agree. I agree. Darren's one of my buddies, a huge DeMartini fan. In simple words, can you describe the differences in the setups, low, high, more relief, buzzing straight? I'm assuming he's between the three, George, Nuno. Are they all very similar, or are they all very
Yeah,
different?
they pretty much play like pretty similar. I mean, I didn't really get a chance to really play Warren's guitars too much for a couple minutes. But yeah, I mean, they play easy but not effortlessly. I don't know if that's hard to describe, but I don't know. I would have to go get my little measuring card and pull down the Tiger and see what it's at to really like go, okay, here's the exact numbers or whatever. Um, but yeah, they play easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Metal
You
Cop
know,
says,
from building guitars over the years, it's like, yeah, you want it to not just, well, okay, play too effortlessly. You want to have to work at your craft a little bit. But yeah, you want it playing good.
you know what? I think that's a really good point. I think that's a really good thing to come back to. When you brought that up earlier, that kind of resonated with me. You want to work a little bit.
Yeah.
So, that's where a lot of your tone's going to come from, as you're working. When you're making that guitar work, that's where your tone's going to come from. So,
And you got to keep it high enough where you're not going to get buzzes and fret outs and stuff like that.
mm,
Because you don't want to go bending a note and boom, it dies on you and everything. So, yeah, you got to have it a little bit higher.
yeah,
Um,
I agree. I agree. Metal Cop says a handful of Warren's original guitars came in 1 7/8. That's probably what, that sounds to me like that's probably what that Cross Swords
yeah,
is.
yeah, I think that's what it was. I pulled out a tape and it was just like, wow. I mean, it was not quite classical guitar, but it was pretty damn close.
God, that's just so cool
But oh man, it felt really nice.
being able to put hands on that.
Oh yeah.
Ben Tom says when I saw Extreme in the 90s, Nuno's action was higher off the neck than any player I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't really say it's that high. I mean, that would make it like seriously hard to do some of the stuff. I mean, yeah, I can't even. It's not like that anymore. That
Hmm.
sounds like way too much work that he had to do.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, for sure. Lou says, John, what is one of your favorite previous guitars that you used to own that regret selling? You wish you could have it back.
Oh man, I had a '76 Ibanez Destroyer that I got rid of.
Mm,
One of the
yeah,
Goa ones,
yeah, that'd be
and
a good one to have back.
oh man, I got it for dirt cheap, and I ended up trading it for a pedal or something like that.
Hmm.
It was an expensive pedal. I think it was when those Chandler tube drivers first came out. Um, and the thing had a couple of issues, but yeah, I wish I had that guitar back.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't sell if I can avoid it.
Speaking of having stuff, John and I were speaking earlier about hanging out with George and stuff, and I asked him about the Van Halen cabinet, and the Van Halen cabinet is very much still in George's possession, and it is one of the natural 412s that was Ed. So yeah, that cabinet lives, and you were
Oh yeah.
saying that the what speakers are in it?
I want to say it's the L-Tex with the metal domes.
Okay, okay.
I have not ever had a chance to hear the thing. I'm sure if I said, let's throw this in the van and go use this, we could go do that. But yeah, I don't know if I want the history of the responsibility of carrying that thing around.
And you said that he's using an 800 right now. That George uses an 800.
Yeah, we have a 800 with a loop with pronounces his name right. The Lynch mods from David Sabatos.
Okay. Yep.
It's one of the ones that turns the single 12AX7 tube into two of
Hmm.
them.
Yep.
And they're pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a cool mod.
Yeah, and we've been using that with the loop and everything in there that's functional and sounds good. Um, we've been running that for, man, probably about the last year and a half. It's been nice.
Hmm. What's so what's Warren running with right now? What's he running?
I cannot remember and want to say what he was running the other day.
Okay. See here. See here.
Yes, I think it is the Mr. Scary Hot Mod, or I cannot remember the name off it, the top of my head.
Cheech wants to know what the life of a guitar tech looks like.
Um, it's a rough life. It's like the salt mines. No, um, it's cool. It's kind of varied. I mean, it depends on the band and how you're touring and everything. And all of them have their good aspects and bad and all of that stuff. Um, pretty much on show days, go in, set it up, get through a show, and tear it down.
Hmm.
Try and eat in between.
Yep. Get some rest, right?
Yeah, catch a nap if you can. I mean, that's one of the beautiful things with the bus. You can run out there and like snooze for an hour, and you got your bunk, you got your home.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of nice.
How many times have you been on a bus?
I've been lucky. I haven't had to do it that much. Shit, 6, 8, 10 in the last couple years.
Okay. Okay. See here, Lou. If a fan came up to you backstage before one of the Rat shows or one of the Piercy DeMartini shows and asked you to let him play Warren's main guitar, would you honor their request or would you feel it was too risky?
um,
That's a good one.
yeah, that is. Pretty much like anybody that's ever asked, I tell them it's going to cost between 120 and 150K
Yeah.
because that's what I'm going to need to make for the next 2 years because I'm going to get fired on the spot for
Yep.
doing something like that.
Yep. I was I'm not going to say who it was. I was going to bring it up, but I will tell you that I was at one of these three artist shows back in the late 90s, very late 90s in San Diego. And I had asked the guitar tech if I could check out his main guitar. And the guitar tech brought it outside the bar and handed it to me. And I got to sit there and look at it.
Oh, that's cool.
And I thought that was really cool that he did that. But I still, to this day, don't want to mention when it was or where it was because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But I mean, like, that's why you always got to be armed with questions, for these guys, because you never know what they will do for you. So.
Oh yeah, you get people that ask. It's kind of funny. It's like, yeah, right, dude. Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean,
Graphite. No, go
It would
on. You mean what?
depend on who it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to hear something new from Warren, such a monster player. Well, supposedly Warren and Steven are talking about doing something new
Well,
material.
cross
So
fingers, man. I mean, right now, it was a blessing hearing him playing the rat stuff.
yeah, it was cool.
Oh, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. What gauge picks is Warren using?
Oh, I don't even know what he's using. They were Dunlop nylon.
70. If they're the gray ones, he's always used their 73s.
I think he was using ones. He was using black ones.
Black ones, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I got a couple of them sitting on the shelf. I think they were ones, and they're with the little grippy stuff on them, the little
Yeah.
nylons.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I remember one of those tours he was using the Dunlop 73s. He was just throwing them out in the crowd. So he's
Yeah,
just
I
going to
think he had some of those too, but wanted the ones for some reason. I don't know. It was the first time with them, so it was just like, okay, yeah, here, this is what we're gonna have. Um, they're okay. It's the first time I've played with them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. John's only done one show with them. Your next show is going to be the 4th of May, right? At M3?
Yes,
Okay. How many guitars will Warren take out on the road, you think? Any idea?
probably two for now.
2. Okay. Yeah,
I
Bradley.
mean,
Bradley was saying Mr. Scary Hot Mod. I know when
yeah.
you and I first talked, we were talking about maybe hopefully the performance snakeskin jumps in. So hopefully,
Oh,
hope
that'd be nice. Yeah, I
yeah, that'd
love
be
performance stuff. I got one of their old necks from the late '80s, and man, they feel so good. Yeah, yeah, it'd be cool to see the snake skin. Right now, it's like we're using two guitar cases. They're Ankies.
okay.
You can fly with them and everything, and it makes life a little easier. So right now, it's two guitars.
Yeah, and he's favoring the red Frenchie.
Yeah, that thing felt nice too.
Yeah, but if you could
I
only
mean,
have
talk
one
about
of them, if you personally could only have one of them, it just hey, iconicness gone, and just the playability of both guitars. Which one played better in your opinion?
I don't know. That's a hard one.
Yeah.
The Frenchie was a little smaller neck, so it'd probably be a little easier to play.
Okay.
That one and 7/8 was pretty freaking big.
Yeah. 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 He broke it out. Graphite and Cigars liked your comment about the salt mines.
No, it's actually fun because, man, yeah, dude, we get days off in some places that I never thought I would be on this planet.
Yeah. What's one of the coolest places what's one of the coolest venues that you played that you weren't expecting such a cool venue, but it turned out to be awesome?
Oh man. I don't know. The most awesome ones right now so far have been Hellfest and Rock in Rio, Lisbon.
Hmm.
Just because of their massiveness and everything along with them. As far as little venue, I don't know. Did Austin City Limits? That was kind of cool. We've done the Ryman. That had some history to it. I don't know. They kind of blend together a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
I mean, a
Uh,
couple of them were very memorable because I mean, like I said, Hellfest and Rock in Rio were like almost 100K each.
oh wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a
that
lot.
was just sea of humanity. That was insane.
Oh, you know what? I thought of a question and it just popped in my head. Hey, Joe, I'll get to you. Were you there for the rain gig?
No, I was not. I was actually flying back from Europe that day.
I was going to ask you about that if you were there that day
Yeah,
because man, what a mess.
it's funny because I found a buddy of ours, um, up in Michigan. He made some T-shirts that said "I survived Hurricane Lynch," and I saw that today. I almost wore that shit.
That's
Yeah,
so awesome.
yeah, dude, let's put it this way. I landed to that in Milwaukee because I was out with Extreme and we had one last show in Milwaukee we were flying to, and that's what I landed to of, hey, guess what we did today?
Wow.
because I kind of like when I'm out with Extreme, we're usually out for a month or two at a time. So I like can't do the Lynch Mob gigs. Obviously, haven't cloned myself yet. I got to work on that.
Yeah.
Um, but there's I still stay in touch and help them as much as I can from afar. And yeah, I got home and to Milwaukee too. Yeah, we played in a gale force storm and then saw the videos and stuff, and it was like I would have pulled them off stage myself.
Yeah. You know, I was wondering about that. So did you get the benefits of the cleanup? Were you on the cleanup crew for
Um,
that gig or?
I think I worked them the next weekend because
Hmm.
I was getting done with the extreme run, and I think we did some shows the next weekend because um, I was able to do those. So they were like, "All right, we're gonna bring you out for those ones." But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think everything dried out. The only thing that died, I don't know how, on stage was Jaron Galino's amp,
Mm. Oh
his
wow.
head. I guess his DI signal was still kind of working, because he was on like took the brunt of it on his side of the stage because it was completely open, no nothing, and yeah, it was raining sideways from the video. There's
Oh,
video
I
out
saw it.
there.
Yeah, that's a crazy. That was a crazy gig.
Yeah,
Um,
we would have been sitting inside the dressing room during that part if I was there, but yeah, okay.
yeah. Is George still using those jazz picks? The Eric Johnson jazz picks?
No, we stopped using those a few months ago. We're using a Fender Medium now.
Fender, he's back to Fender mediums.
Yeah, back to Fender mediums. It was like I learned to play with those picks, and then we changed back to a regular one.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually like them though. Those were good picks. They have a good sound to them. Very precise picking
Yeah.
with them.
You
Um,
you actually gave me one of those the first time I met you. I said, "What's George using right now?" You reached in your pocket and you had a bunch of them. You gave me one of them. So I still have it in my guitar, my box of picks here. So thanks, buddy. I
yeah, they
appreciate it.
say Eric Johnson, but they were
Yeah,
really George ones
they
at
were
the
really George Lynch's. Yeah.
time.
It's so cool. Joe McGraw says, very cool being a well known amp tech. I'm old, but would have loved to do it. And May Stell would do it. Um, yeah, I mean, like, to have the resume that you're holding, sir, that's a big deal, you know?
Yeah, amps are the least of the things I know right now, but that's when it helps to have some friends to call at times. And but
What's the biggest repair you've had to do on an amp? Just swap out some tubes or?
we've had boards die at times.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Okay.
and then had a speaker out crap one time over in Italy or Germany. That was fun. Been kind of lucky with them. Usually we'll carry a backup.
Yeah.
So in case there is a problem, we can pop to the other one, and then when we get home, it can go to somebody. It's usually like depends on who it is. It'll be Dave Friedman, somebody
Hmm.
like that, or whatever.
Yeah, I figured Friedman would probably be in the mix. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Man,
depends
that's
on somebody's LA based or whatever. Um, that's usually the easiest if there's any issue. Luckily, knock on wood, um, we've been pretty lucky
hmm
and haven't
yeah.
had them die too many times on us. So
I guess that's one of the benefits of running with a backup. You would have to. I mean,
yeah.
if you're yeah, you're gonna have to run with a backup. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, especially for big shows, it's 2 and 3 redundant heads, extra pedals and pedal boards and that type of thing.
Hmm. Cheech wants to know where you're based out of, John.
Antarctica, no, upstate New York.
Upstate New
Oh,
York.
upstate Western New York.
Very nice. Very nice. We were talking. John and I were talking earlier today about George's gear with regards to what's left, and you know, he still has quite a bit of gear. But one of my most my first concert was Monsters of Rock in '88 at the Pontiac Silverdome in Detroit. Uh, George played the natural headstock Sunburst Tiger, and you said that one's gone, right?
To the wind somewhere. I have no
To
idea where
the- to-
that one is.
well, if anybody's got it, let me know. I'd probably pay some big money for that one.
Yeah, oh, that guitar to be worth some money
Yeah,
for sure, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that one was cool, and the worst thing was they wouldn't do that back in the day because I tried calling them and going, "Hey, can I get another neck?" And it was like, no, they
Oh
weren't really
man.
doing parts at that point.
Hmm. Darren wants to know if you compensate any of the string tuning, like for a heavy hand, like Van Halen had to, for any of the artists you're working for, such as
Um,
setting the strings flatter for a heavy hand.
no, not really. I mean, most of the time it's Floyd or Nuno, it's a Kaler.
Okay.
So it's pretty much a fixed radius on those things. I think I did shim one of the Kaler E's one time to be able to flatten them out a little bit more, but that's about it.
Oh, I think he's talking about tuning. Like do you
Oh,
tune
tuning wise?
do you tune flat because of a heavy hand?
No,
No.
not really.
Okay.
No.
So you tune to pitch, whether it be
Yeah.
flat or standard.
Yeah, usually it's half step down.
Okay. Extreme's playing a half a step down.
Yeah, everybody is.
Everybody okay? Yeah.
It
Okay.
sounds so much better.
It does, and it gives the singer some breathing room as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Come on, we're not spring chickens anymore.
Yeah, we're not string chicken. GPS workstation by String Tech workstations is what we would love being the guitar tech. So the GPS that you what's your workstation consist of? That's actually a good
Um,
question.
I got a briefcase that I carry with me.
Yeah.
With basically, because like with Lynch Mob, we're traveling in a minivan, so don't have much room. But yeah, I got a briefcase, and then I'll get a couple stands or boat while I'm out on the road, and build a little area so I can like when I have a boat, it's nice. Everything's boom right there, and I got a little tuner and amp with me, little Spark Mini.
Okay.
Um,
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
oh, dude, great
That's
little
what you're
amp.
playing through right now, right?
Yeah, that's what I usually use at the house with
Yeah, that's
me, and
awesome.
when I do play, and yeah, it's that a tuner, bunch of guitars and Allen wrenches usually.
Yeah. Allen wrenches are a must for all those three guys, or they're all Floyd. So.
Oh yeah, well, no, Nuno's Kaler.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's
yeah.
running a Kaler Steeler. Say hi to Gary out there, Kaler. Yeah, they're actually making again, and he's been running those, I guess, forever. And it's their, for better words, their version of a Floyd, and it's actually a nice bar.
Yeah. Hey,
They're a
that's
little bit
interesting.
different on the tooling and everything with the wrenches and stuff, so that's kind of a pain, but
Hmm. Interesting. I'm gonna have to check into that. Bradley wants to know what year your Edwards Les Paul is.
I think she's like a 15,
Okay,
2015, something like that.
that's cool.
Yeah, great guitars. Oh man, wish I could get more.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting one of those Edwards, man. That
Dude,
resembles the Sunburst Tiger with a natural headstock.
uh,
They got them.
they're they're good guitars. I mean, and I don't know how expensive those are. But yeah, if you can get a hold of them, that's the problem with getting a hold of like some of the Edwards and the grassroots and any of the ones like that is they're Japan only. So it's finding somehow to get it shipped over there and everything. Um, but yeah, dude, that Edwards is not quite a Gibson R9, but she's pretty close.
Mhm. Yeah,
George actually used it a few months ago.
really.
It was the hotel guitar for the run, and he brought it one night. He's like, "Hey, I want to use this for a song." Okay, and it sounded good because it's what is it? JB in the bridge and a 59 in the neck.
Very nice. Yeah,
So
that's a
it's a
good
decent
combo.
setup.
That's a good combo.
I mean, don't love the JB, but Haven't had a chance to get an Arcane in there yet, so.
Shouldn't be tough for you to find one of those. Probably pretty easy. Darren says string choice of all three. So between those three heavies you're working for, what's a string choice for all three?
It varies. Brands and gauges.
What's Warren uses? Is using 10s. He's using 10s, right?
No, I think I restrung it with 9 to 42s the other
9 to
day.
42. Okay. All right.
And then on Strats with George, it's 9.5 to 44, a little bit heavier. And then, like we talked earlier, Nuno's got his heavy bottom, regular top.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see here.
And who is it? Hang on. And for Nuno, it's GHS. They endorse us. And with George, it's D'Addario. And then Warren was using what the hell was I think he's
Roto
endorsed.
Sounds.
No, I think he's endorsed with Ernie Ball.
Oh, is he with Ernie Ball? Okay.
Yeah.
He
Don't
was with
quote,
Roto
don't
Sounds
quote
for a
me on
while.
that one, no, but
No, I got
yeah.
you. Yeah.
So depending
Cheech.
on whichever you play, like, get those strings.
Yeah. Whichever player you like, just if you like Warren, get the Ernie balls.
Yeah.
Cheech, how long have you been Lynch's check? I seen Spoken Open for Aerosmith in '87.
Oh, not that long ago. I've done it about the last 10 years.
Yeah,
Started in 2015 with him.
yeah.
So we've been together 10 years. Hopefully we're gonna do some more shows and
So what's it? That's something else too. So the final rides happen for Lynch Mob, right? So he's not touring under Lynch Mob anymore. That's the game plan, right?
yep, Lynch Mob in its entity and name and all of that is been put to rest, and I not sure. I can't really say right now what the name is.
Sure.
Um, but he'll be coming out with some new stuff coming out. So, and they do have one album
So
coming
awesome.
out under Lynch Mob still. That should be. They're still in the process of putting it together, so probably in the next few months that'll be coming out
Mm-hmm.
as well.
It,
So,
it's funny. I was talking to you today, and Jimmy DeAnda liked the post for the show tonight. It was crazy to see Jimmy DeAnda. Yeah, the drummer
oh yeah, I love Jimmy.
for Electric
Love
God, man,
Jimmy.
what a drummer! But Bullet Boys, original
Yeah.
Bullet Boys player. If you don't know, I mean Jimmy
I've
DeAnda is a
gotten
heavy.
I got lucky and got to work 2 shows with um, the originals.
Oh my
Like,
God, really?
recently within the last few years when they've done some reunions and stuff, and dude, they're phenomenal. Nah, Jimmy's been with them on and off as long as I have, actually much longer than I've been with them. But, yeah, Jimmy's just love him to death.
Yeah, great guy. Always been very cool to me every time I've met him. So
Yeah, we
yeah.
had some killer last 2 shows on the boat with him, um, and they just rocked with him. I mean, him, Jaron, Gabriel, and George are fantastic foursome up there. That's the thing I get so blessed with. It's the bands that are up there that I get to listen to every night. Of the 3 of them, it's great tunes, great guitar playing. Um, 2 of them in Piercy DeMartini with Carlos Cavazo on the other side.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Um, and so they're both awesome bands because it's like, all right, with Lynch Mob, it's Jaron, Gabriel, Jimmy, and George.
Hmm.
With Extreme, it's the 4 guys: Nuno, Gary, Pat, and Fig. And then with Rat, it's Warren, Steven, Carlos, got Matt Thorne on bass, and Blas Elias over on drums.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, quite the resume of players there.
Yeah.
Um,
And Lynch Mob has been, we've had multiple other guys in, and they've all
yeah,
been great players too. So,
yep.
but it's just, yeah, both versions. It's great. Each night I get to listen to fantastic songs from each of them.
Yeah. Uh, Something I didn't touch on yet was Carlos. Are you doing Carlos too, or does he got his own tech?
No, we had a tech that was doing him and Matt
Okay.
um up in Connecticut when we did Mohegan Sun first show. So I think he's gonna be there at M3. I don't know. If I have to do all three, I'll do all three, whatever.
God, that's so awesome. God, man, that's so. I can't even imagine how stoked you got to be doing that.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Lupito says when he gigs, always made sure his trusty guitar tech would place a can of Schlitz malt liquor on top of the amp for every show. What's the strangest request you've ever had one of your artists ask of you?
Um Man, nothing really.
No.
No, not really. I mean, I've had
I,
George's shoes on stage a couple times, but that's about
yeah.
it.
You know, back to the Doug Aldrich thing. So Doug Aldrich played that night. He came off stage and he said, "Hey, I'm getting ready to go on the European tour. Are you available?" And I looked over at our artist relations guy, and I looked at him. I said, "Oh my God, Doug Aldrich just asked me to be his guitar tech." And I remember I was crapped out for a week, and my boss kept coming over to me going, "Mike, you don't want to be a guitar tech." And I was like, "Why wouldn't I want to be a guitar tech? I
Oh,
mean, like
dude, I would have been
it's
like,
got to
let me
be
go get my
amazing."
passport.
Yeah, let's go, man. I mean, like, oh, I still to this day, I just, first of all, I couldn't believe it happened, and second of all, it was just, I was so crapped out for the week. And he goes like, "Mike, you don't want to be a guitar tech," and I was like, "Yeah, I kind of do." So, um, see
It's
here,
it has its moments. Um, but yeah, it's dude, I never thought I would be doing it. It's funny. I could honestly say this was never really a dream. Growing up, going here, I'm gonna be this dude's tech. Um, I've done other stuff in the business because I think, like we talked about, I got lucky where I was younger, going to shows, going, hey, there's like four guys in the band, but there's 20 working.
hmm
Yeah, it's not as cool as being in a band, obviously, but you're one of the 20. It's a lot easier to get into 20 than the four.
that's right. That's right. And something else too. I mean, like I'm kind of stupid like that when I go to these gigs. I'll sit there and I'll watch. The guys who are working because I have just as much interest in the tech as I have in the player because I know what kind of work goes into that and that you're the guy who's making sure that he's ready to go when he gets on stage because he's got the skill. But
You
you're the
better
one who's
be.
making sure. Yeah, I mean, you're the one who's making sure that he's good to go to take that step onto the stage, man.
Yeah.
And that's
And
some
turn that volume knob up and hopefully roll and get to the end. And it's funny is I don't know if it's for all guys, but yeah, there's cool tunes in during the set, but sadly I want to hear last song and get through it because then I know everything's worked and we got through the show and we kind of live to fight another day.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, yes, it's a great show, but it's for truthfully for an hour and a half, 2 hours, 10 minutes with Extreme, 90-ish with Rat, or Piercy DeMartini, for forgive me on that one. Um, it's stressful.
yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
You're going, I just want to hear the guitar going. I mean, obviously everything else as well, but you're like, all right, let that guitar done, boom, hand it to me at the end of the night. Phew, got through it again and do it the next day.
Yeah, yeah,
Just because you just don't know. Patch
yeah.
cable goes bad in your board, your main lead, your wireless starts fritzing. You just don't know. I mean, I've had people step on tuners
Mm.
and lose signal, and you're going, oh no. And then, all right, you see, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hopefully you see it early.
yeah.
Sometimes it's the last thing you see, you go through the whole rig. I had it happen to me on the boat. um a tuner got stepped on and rig wasn't working and it was like oh crud.
What tuner was it? You remember?
Just a boss tuner.
Yeah. Huh.
We're not going to say who stepped on it and what
Yeah.
band it was with, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Whatever.
it does happen at
Shit happens.
times. And yeah, I mean, you try not to, you plan for the worst and hope for the best. And kind of as techs, you get through the show. And all right, when you pack that truck, trailer, whatever, you're like, "Phew, okay, you can kind of breathe a little bit easier."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure as soon as they're done with that last song and they're taking their bows, you're extremely relieved. You're probably
Oh,
like, "Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. Yeah, I can only imagine how awesome that is."
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my buddy Carlos with Extreme, as we did a little boom, and yes, okay, we got through another show because one, it's a long show. I
Yeah.
mean, they're playing 2:15-ish.
Wow.
Well, that's a long set.
Do you
We
do
got a
any
lot.
pedal changes for any of those guys or do they just do all their own stuff?
I can't really say.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I got you.
But like with Extreme, we have kind of piece changes. We have guitar changes where we're bringing out a 12 string, a drum kit, getting rid of it, bringing out a 6 string and stools, and we got stuff going on during the show. Um, and got to get all those changes and everything hopefully works and you have no issues with getting the 12 with the wireless working.
Mm,
With the 6 getting that going with the DI and stuff. Um, so there's stuff going on during the show.
mhm.
So yeah, you're definitely got that little sigh of relief soon as that last note, thank you, good night, and they're shaking hands and fist bumping and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Yeah.
You're like, "Yeah, now the tear down."
Yes. Yes. Survive pretty much.
Yeah.
Look at it as I kept my head tonight.
Yep. Yeah, that's awesome. Uh I had one question. Speaking of the boats, when you guys are out, there was a show that Lynch grabbed his kamikaze and it was like whacked out of tune, and they were going into the fire, and he switched to the 56. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, that was on the most recent cruise. We had a spring pop.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Did he have the so he's got the covers off the back, I assume?
Yeah, the covers are off the back, thankfully, so I didn't have to take it off of there. But yeah, we had a spring pop on it,
Oh my god.
off of the claw,
That,
and yeah.
oh my god. No kidding. Wow. I'm glad I asked that question because I was watching it the other day and I go, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to ask." And it just popped in my head for some reason. So
Oh
hey,
yeah,
yeah,
dude. Let's put it this way. I didn't realize it for a second that the thing was popped. I go to start tuning it and ease it like a bee.
yeah, and the
And
bridge
it's
is all
supposed
whacked up, right? Is all
Yeah,
the
it's
bridge?
supposed to
Yeah,
be like at an E flat, and it's kind of dark on stage. You don't really notice that kick in the bar at
yeah.
first, and it's like, whoa, okay, what's going on? And luckily, it happened before I've popped the claw a little bit tighter. Um, but yeah, it's like pop the spring on that thing.
Wow, wow, that's crazy.
I mean, it was a
Uh,
quick fix and everything.
oh, for sure. I don't even know if he switched back to it. I mean, but it was funny because like the first, like like George is going, you're like watching his face going, oh, uh, I forgot what year it was. It was Guitar Trader, which is where Warren DeMartini hung out at when he lived in San Diego. Guitar Trader, San Diego, California, because I was in the military for 23 years. And I lived right up the road from Guitar Trader. And Lynch came to play, and they had some other artists there. He was just doing solo stuff like Mr. Scary and playing some stuff. And they brought a singer in, and he went to sing, and he was kind of off key. And they had
Oh,
stopped, and he looked over at George. He goes, "George, I'm really sorry, man. I'm just not feeling good today," and blah blah blah. And George looked at him. I'll never forget this. And he goes, "Hey, no excuses." And I was like, "Wow."
yeah, you
So
pretty much. I mean. That's how it is when you get the shot. I mean, not that, okay, that was an audition or something like that, but
yeah,
we've all seen the instance where, all right, you get the shot and you don't grab it as hard as you can,
hmm,
and it disappears on you.
yeah,
I mean, that's what I did with the gig with him. It was funny. We were actually at his place when we were chatting. He's like, "Now we're the promoters hire you," and I'm like, "Nah, dude, I was just showing up for the gigs."
Mm. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
I was
Hey,
like, "I'm taking every advantage I can." I
yeah.
mean, my first M3, I literally walked up to the back gate and I went on blah 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 with Lynch Mob, and they went, "Okay, go ahead."
I was John and I were actually talking today. I'm not going to go into specifics, but you and George really have a close relationship, and that's really cool to be able to be that close to one of the, to in my opinion, one of the 80s, probably one of the greatest players of the 80s. So that's just really cool that you have
Oh,
that.
still isn't, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome human being. All
Yeah.
three of them are.
Just a cool
But yeah,
cat, man.
I mean, I know him the most because we've been together for a decade. And dude, awesome person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just super, super cool. See here, how long have you been working with Warren? Yeah, he's on one show with Warren so far.
Oh, one show so far.
So his
I got
next show
another
will be
one in
the
like
M3.
2.5 weeks. Yeah.
Ronnie Parker has a cool question. Do you remember your first guitar you ever had?
Yes, I do. It was a Black Beauty copy called the Live Wires. Little bolt-on Les Paul neck, got passed around my neighborhood
Yeah.
left and right. It was funny. It was actually an okay guitar.
Yeah. Why'd you get rid of it? Just passed it on?
Um, Money and smokables back then.
Understood. Understood. Bradley says, "Yeah, man, the JB and Les Paul just works." I agree. Les Paul
See,
sound good.
I'm not really a fan of it.
Of the JB and a Les Paul?
Yeah, I
What's your
was never a
go-to in a
fan.
Les Paul?
I want to get an Arcane get thrown in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna have Robert over there at Arcane wind me something up and throw that in there. Maybe I want to try a 13 like I got in the Tiger. Um, and then not really sure. I'm thinking possibly if I stay with Duncan, it'll be like a Pearly Gate style. Because I like that. I got that in one of my strats, and I
That's a
kind of
good
like that
pickup.
pickup. Um, just not really a fan of the compressed JB. I mean, it's not bad. It's a fun guitar to play. I did I don't know if you can tell, I did the flip on the pickup like Greenie.
Hmm.
And man, that middle position sounds great now.
Oh my God. Yeah. You and I were talking about the greenie today. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Do you want to share that story about the Metallica? You want to share that? That's a cool story.
nah, that one's kind of sad when we were at Hellfest and didn't know Greenie was up on stage getting strung changed on the other stage when we were at Hellfest.
Yeah. That's just, yeah,
So
man.
it would have been kind of nice to see that. Dude, I get to work with some great iconic guitars in its own self. I mean, yes, Greenie's got the history to it. Um, I get George has a three pickup Black Beauty Les Paul custom that's a 1960 that's actually absolutely amazing. I'm sure people have seen pictures of that. That was G.E. Smith's old guitar.
Yep. From
So
Saturday Night Live.
that's been on some stuff.
And he was Hall
Um,
and Oates, wasn't he? Wasn't he Hall and Oates guitar
yeah, he
player?
was Hall and
Yeah.
Oates,
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
Hmm.
I don't know how much of that stuff it was on. He's actually an amazing player
He
too.
is.
Um, I got a chance to do monitors for him one time in my city, and it was great to watch him play and direct the band, basically like on Saturday Night Live. It
Mm.
was a very cool experience.
Mm. Yeah. That's really cool. Cheech says, how long have you been in the business? John's been in the business for,
Way too long, on and
yeah.
off. All different aspects of it. I've done sound, rock and roll catering. Started off doing lights and guitar teching for garage bands.
Mhm.
And that wasn't even guitar tech, and that was more lugging the stuff because pretty much back then it's you had one guitar.
Yeah. Yep. Darren says, "Do you think did you ever think you'd be teching for these artists?"
Not
Probably not.
really not really in a million years.
Yeah, it's so awesome. That's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
truly blessed with that.
yeah, heck yeah, you are. Do you belong to a union? How did you get into the business?
No, I just pretty much was playing and started doing lights and then sound when I was doing it because it was the natural offshoot of okay, I'm not playing, well, I might as well be working it. Um, and then, like I said, buddies of mine were doing a show, and that's how I got back into teching. I mean, I've been on and off in it, man, 40 years,
Hmm. That's just I'm
just
just
under.
thanks for this 40 grit. Hey, no, thank you to John. I mean, like I've been sitting here the whole time and the two times I spoke to him before the live, how blessed I am to have him on here, man. It's just so cool to have him on to talk to him, be able to talk to
Appreciate it.
somebody that's in the mix. Thanks for this 40 grit, John. What are the typical delay settings used by George on the DD 500 and Warren the carbon copy during a live gig? Any idea?
Urban copy, I have no idea. Our delay settings are basically Eddie's delay settings was at 425 or whatever.
Okay.
It works.
Yep. I agree. I've
It,
got mine set to the same. So yeah.
yeah, it works. It's same thing with a phase 90. You set it to about 9:30, 10 o'clock,
Mm-hmm.
and it works. You kick it
Yep.
around with your toe, you get a little warble every once in a while, but it seems to be that magic position 9, 10 o'clock on the things. It's one of those things that pretty much works, sounds good. Um, yeah.
Well, actually, if he's playing through an 800 right now, what's on his board right now? What's on George's board right now?
Right now we got a tuner basically as a mute, a phase 90, an old script, and then old 808 tube screamer.
Okay, cool.
And then
And is the
there's
tube screamer on all the time or just for solos for the boost?
whenever he feels like it.
Okay.
I can't really tell. Sometimes it's hard to see. I can't see the light, so I don't know if he's got it on or off.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's pretty stripped down right now. And then we got a Boss DD 500 in the back end,
Okay.
which is basically their SDE 3000.
Hmm.
We were running those things, but they just started dying on us and they were hard to get.
The new ones or the old ones? The old racks.
The old rack ones.
The old racks ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually sound really good. It's just a matter of when they croak on you, man, it's hard to get one. I mean, we went from a wet, dry, wet to a wet, dry because one died.
Hmm.
And then we did a show at where the hell is it, the whiskey, and the thing croaked on me.
Wow.
Luckily, it was at line check when I was down there by myself, so I was able to run to Guitar Center. But I couldn't find one of those. I had to buy the DD 500, and that's actually fit the bill very nicely.
Okay. That's good info. Cheech says, John, it looks like you're working harder than the players. Sounds like you're
Oh,
working harder than the players.
heck no.
Joe says, I'm sure it's fun to change a string on a Floyd live. So what do you do?
Um,
Do you just
it's
switch
not
guitars or do you spend time doing that?
usually. Well, we'll obviously switch guitars as quick as humanly possible. Um, I kind of cheat on the couple of strings they're gonna break most.
Mm-hmm.
On a Floyd, it's usually the D and the G. So what I'll do is give them an extra inch, inch and a half, so it's a couple more windings.
You can just coil it
I'll
down.
I'll chop it. If it doesn't get pulled, like with the D string, that pops, it doesn't get pulled, I can chop it off,
Mm-hmm.
unwind it, pop it back down there, and
Yep.
you got your same string back in there.
And relock it. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and relock it down because the nice thing is it's already stretched because that's like a high E pops or a B, your juice. They're gonna kink and curly Q all the way up there and everything. But you usually get away with the D string. That's the one that usually pops the most,
Mm-hmm.
if anything.
Yep.
I've been very lucky, knock on wood. Nuno really hasn't. George will pop them occasionally. Warren, I haven't really been with enough. But yeah, it is fun trying to pop it back in there. Nice thing is though, if you're not trying to pop out a new string, cut it, and all that other nonsense, you're just unwrapping and pulling down.
Yep.
You can get it done in about a minute, maybe.
As long as the piece that broke off isn't in there too small and you're trying to get it out of there, because
Yeah.
I mean that's a nightmare. I mean, I've had that problem. I used to tech for actually Lou Beetle is in the chat. He was in a band called Metal King in Las Vegas, and they used to play the hotels, and I would gig, and there were a couple times when we had some issues, but that's the only time that it wouldn't be quick is if it breaks at the saddle. And then your piece is stuck in there, depending on I've had that problem before, but yeah, if you put extra winds on the tuners, you're usually safe with that. It's a good
Yeah, you
idea.
can get away with it. It'll at least get you through the rest of the night, and then you can change the full set and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the problem is, man, and even if you stretch the thing, it's not going to be the same as the
Mm-mm.
other five strings on there. They'll be getting beat on for
Yeah.
who knows, half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. Um, so that makes it kind of rough there. Dude, I had one time. I filled in and just helped some band out. And somehow the guitar player was playing a Strat, had shoved two strings in one of the things on like a skinny string.
Yeah. Oh God.
That dude, that was a nightmare. And he broke the second string that was in there. He broke the first one, didn't come out, must have slapped another one in there quick, broke that one, and it was trying to get the two ball ends out. It was an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. That's actually that's a great comment. It's actually why I went to titanium, because with the old lock blocks, they wear out, with it, when you're pressing that spring against that saddle, and the wear starts inside the block. If you go
Oh,
to
for the Floyds,
titanium,
yeah.
yeah, if you go to titanium, you won't have that problem anymore. So
Now, how's that changing the sound? I mean, I got titanium on George's stuff.
what's he
Nuno
using
and Warren's.
titanium? What's he using for
Uh,
titanium?
I cannot remember. That's bad of me. Who we're using?
No, is it just the lock blocks, or is it
The
more than
the
that?
block, the screw,
Okay.
and I think the screw on the locking nut.
Okay. Okay.
For a
Yeah.
couple reasons. One, he likes the tone of the thing, and two, it does look kind of cool on a Black Floyd.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It
It's
does.
kind of the opposite of the chrome Floyd with the black and the black screws and the black little block on the chrome Floyd. It's kind of the opposite type of look. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I agree. Griffin James Music, welcome in, sir. John, is that Lynch's current purple tiger behind you? The answer is yes. And did George's snakeskin guitar get damaged in the rain rig?
No, it was okay. I think a little bit of snakeskin got like worn. Oh, I know what guitar you're talking about, the snakeskin one. I forgot about that one, the
Yeah.
Copperhead.
Yeah, the Copperhead. Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I think he made for somebody and he liked too much.
He kept it, right?
Um, so he kept it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's the
It's
drawback
so
of making.
awesome.
Yeah, that's the drawback of making guitars, especially if you're like, all right, I'm gonna make something and it's not for a particular customer. You kind of go, ooh, I sort of like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the luxury of building them. You can say you're keeping it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. He actually kept for a while one of the, how shall I say it so we don't get in trouble? Well, he probably wouldn't even care. The EVH tributes that we did.
Okay.
He actually ended up keeping one, and I think he used it in the Sweet Lynch video.
Oh, cool, man. Cool.
Ended up selling it, but it was like, yeah, you tend to go, ooh, I really like how this guitar plays. I think like we were talking about the relic maple tiger that he makes
Yeah.
for Mr. Scary
Hmm.
Guitars. He had one of those that was, I think, for somebody, and we had it for like another month or so. I think somebody had backed out and we sold to somebody, something like that. But yeah, we had that one for about 2, 3 months, and that was a killer guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember that John's involved with George on all the building on that stuff. So you guys have questions about those Mr. Scary guitars. John's in the shop with him, painting and building those guitars. So I thought that was extremely interesting when we were talking about that today. Let's see. We are. I think we already touched on this. What's George's? Ryan, what's up? How you doing, man? George's and Warren's preferred string height. They're all pretty similar, right?
Yeah, I mean it's low but not microscopic type of thing. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can grab this thing. Yeah.
Oh God,
I don't know if
you
you'll be
pulled
able
it
to see.
down.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
it
you can see
looks.
on there.
No, I can see. Yeah, it's probably 364. It's probably somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's not ridiculous.
Yep.
It's pretty much a little lower than stock, what they want to ship something with.
Yep.
Um, Let me try and put this up without messing it up.
I can't believe it. So if you're late, that's John's guitar. George has been playing it on the road, and that's just so. I just can't even. I can't wrap my head
Stock
around
L
that. Just so awesome.
stock ESP.
I just can't even believe. I can't believe that. Let's see, Darren. I think we answered this question. He is not doing Carlos's stuff, but
No,
if he has to, he will. We'll see what happens at M3. He's only done the one gig with Warren so far. He just did the one gig up in Maryland.
hoping for lots more.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure you're going to be. You'll be on the road with Warren. Low as possible. Yeah, I think that they have their feel that they get stuck with, and then that's what they do. Uh, let's see. John Lou is asking, what are your plans on working with Nuno again? Any time in the future? I know the answer
Yeah,
to
we
that, but
got we got what is it? Boardwalk Fest coming up in I think it's May 17th down in Maryland. We got Festival July 6th in Quebec, I think it was.
mhm.
Quebec or Montreal, one of the two. A big festival, and then we're going back over to Europe in July. And then a few dates in end of August in the States. I think we're doing New Hampshire and Connecticut. Yeah, we're definitely going to do some more shows. It's just the way they tour, it's a couple months off, couple months on, couple months off.
And they go with their own equipment. You said they
Yeah.
do no backline.
Yeah, we bring our own stuff in. Over in Europe, we'll go to a company we rent from that we've done the last couple times. Um, and they pretty much give us the same exact gear, which is nice. And then we have a trailer here, a truck over in Europe.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
it's nice. We bring our own same cabs, same drums, risers, the whole nine. Everything's the same every night. Um, so it's just consistent.
I can think that I would think that would be really good for me personally because I
Yeah.
know that I'm the one packing it and I know I got the same stuff every night. It's got to be rough sometimes if you're doing a backline, you get there and you don't really know what you got yet until you get
Oh
there, right?
yeah, dude. I've had cabs be messed up. There's been sometimes we were doing depending on the venue, I'll do Marshall in stereo. I think I used to do that back in the day for our wet dry wet was
Mm,
sometimes I would just use one Marshall cab as my echo cab. I had one feed into the other side because the switch was broken
mhm.
and it smoked the power amp.
Wow.
So yeah, it's you got to rely on a cab sounding good. This way Nuno's got the same cab every night, same everything. Um, it just makes it so much you don't have to worry.
He's back to Marshall now, right? He's not playing through the Randalls anymore, right?
Yeah, we're using Marshall, a 1960B.
Okay.
Um, and I think it's just a stock 300 watt. But like when we go do something like with the boat or whatever, we had that this year, and I got to listen to the cabs, pick out the best one, let
Mm,
him hear 2 of them, maybe 3 of them.
really?
Pick out
Oh,
one,
that's
and
so
it's
cool.
dude, I mark it on the back, and then it's, "All right, this is gonna be the cab every night."
Wow. No kidding. So you listen to the cab, mark it, and then you bring it down and he listens to them?
Yeah, he'll come up, like, during line check, sound check, he'll listen to the couple decent ones, cause like, alright, if we're over in Europe, I'm getting first day over there, I'm getting 6 new Marshalls, not new, but new to me,
Yeah.
um, and, like amps, they all sound a little bit different.
They're all different. Yeah.
So it's all right. Me and my monitor guy, Carlos, we listen to the cabs and we go, okay, these are like the 3 best. This is first, second, third. Let him listen. And sometimes our second is his favorite. It's one of those things. All right, his ears want to hear something.
So this is going really geeky now, but I mean, like, I'm blown away by that. So you mark the cab. What do you mark it with? You just put some
I
masking tape
slap
on the
some
back
tape
and
on
mark them
there.
1, 2. Yeah.
I slap a little colored X on the back of the
That's
thing so I
cool,
know it's
man.
every day. And
That's cool,
because, like,
man.
I mean, right, Nuno's setup is the 3-2-1 thing.
Yeah.
Like the video, we always run the same thing, so it's all right. I want the same cabs in the same spots every day. So, all right, here's my second best in case something happens. Boom, boom. It's just moving something over, not going, okay, my second best is at the top. Um, and just knowing, all right, that's the cab I want there every day. I'll usually draw a little picture on the back.
Yeah.
Seriously, every cab's got the same little picture, and there's an X where that cab's supposed to go. So, like, because with that stuff, I got hands most of the time, which is great. It's all right, guys. Boom, 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 boom. Put them together.
Oh
Boom.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
I was actually going to ask you about that. So, do you have hands for you when you're doing the extreme shows?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not doing load ins.
I mean, I'm dumping the trailer, but I'm throwing stuff to however many people it is, and they're bringing it inside, and then the rest of the crew's inside building.
Those are just local crews, just like guys
Yeah.
are hired to bring it in. Okay.
Yeah, promoter, whoever deals with that stuff higher ups than me,
Yeah.
with that group. Yeah, they just get however many they're gonna provide. I mean, sometimes it's 4, 6, like sometimes I'll get 12 people out of a
Yeah.
full crew.
Hmm.
So,
So
yeah, we
you've got
just
to
dump.
manage that as well.
No, not really. Stage manager, he's in charge with that, or drum tech Marco.
Okay.
Um, but it's all right. I basically unload the trailer. We divvy up some work. I unload the trailer. My monitor guy loads the trailer end of the night.
Okay.
And we help each other and got the hands and stuff. So it's not too bad. I mean, dude, we're bringing in a band's worth of gear.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing any sound, any lights with those guys. Um, done that before. I did 2 summers with Ted Nugent. And we had a full semi.
Oh God.
And so, yeah, we had band gear, lights, a whole monitor rig, and merch in a semi.
Wow.
And that was
Wow.
mine every day to unload and load with the hands.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. It's band gear, so it's all right. What is it? 4 bass cabs, 6 guitar cabs, 3 heads, 2 bass heads, and drum set.
Hmm. Joe McGraw says if you block the Floyd trem when breaking a string, it's a lot easier to retune all the strings. Yes, if you block it,
Oh, yeah.
because yeah, everything goes back to where it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, and that's cool, but if you want to float and be able to pull up, you can't do that. And I don't know. I like floating Floyds. I mean, blocked are cool too. It's up to the player. I
Yep.
deal with both.
Yeah, I always played blocked when I would back in my gigging days, and I remember breaking strings and finish the tune. If you break a string on a floating, you're done. So
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
game over.
You're just that's why you have multiple guitars. I mean, I cheat when I used to be in bands around here. I'm bringing 4 and 5 guitars because I'm local.
Yep.
It's no biggie. You're throwing them in the car. So here, give me another thing. And I don't know. Usually, most of the guys don't break strings. I haven't broken one in a minute. I'm probably going to break one the next time I play now, because you know how
Mhm.
that is.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But Yeah, you're done on a floating Floyd, but it's all up to the player. I mean, I'm not going to go in and go, "Hey, you're a floating guy. Why don't you block it?"
No, can't
That,
do that.
yeah, that's not
Yep.
up to me.
Yep. I was actually talking to one of my uh we were talking about blocking the bridge versus a trem stop or something like that put in the cavity the other day. And hey, different strokes for different folks, man. Everybody's
Well, and
different,
it depends on what you're going to do. I mean, the major for blocking it is you do drop D tunings at times.
Yep.
You're not doing that with a floating bridge.
No,
You're
you're
not
not.
using the detuner with that. I mean, if you it's something that you do, and especially if you do it multiple times a show, and you really want to play one main guitar, yeah, you need to block it.
Yep. Agreed.
And that's fine too. I mean, dude, you listen to Nuno. He was playing, what the hell was it? I think the Turkey Jam. He played Don't Tell Me You Love Me, Night Ranger.
Oh, I saw him play that solo. He blew it
Good.
away. Yeah, look at
Hello. I
that.
mean,
Yeah, man. I was like, oh my God, man. Yeah, he pulled it off. Great.
you really
It's
didn't
crazy.
notice that it wasn't Gillis with the
Yeah.
floating Floyd, because I
Yeah.
mean,
Jeff
Brad
Watson.
is
Yeah.
floating.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, he made that thing flutter.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, "Oh my God, man! Hey,
Yeah,
man,
I caught that like about
that
a
guy's
month
a
ago or so.
beast. Nuno's a beast, man. He's
Oh,
just a
dude.
beast of a player."
The crazy thing is all three of them are in their own
Yeah.
ways.
Yep.
I mean,
Cheech says, "Great show, 40. John, appreciate your career and your knowledge. Cheers, guys.
thanks, dude.
Appreciate that." Let's see here. Let's see here. Chris says, actually, he's a brass trem stopper. Let's see if I got any more questions for you in here. James Z
Yeah, I
says two
like the
fan.
idea of I like the idea of the brass. Um, because I like the mass.
Yeah.
I've seen wood done usually in plastic and stuff. The brass is kind of nice. Because I do believe in that little extra mass is kind of a nice thing.
hmm do you see George swapping out trem blocks? Is he using brass trem blocks or is he staying with steel ones?
The Desert Eagle has a brass big block
hmm
because we actually had to cut it a little bit
Okay.
to accommodate the pull up because his are floating.
hmm
Um, but yeah, I mean, and I don't know, he played mine and it's got a regular. So
Mm,
I mean, they're cool. You get a little more sustain off of them.
yeah. Yep. Oh, here we go. Bradley Wood. Bradley Wood says, "How does George like to run the gain and master on that 800? Does he crank it to 10? The run and run a Variac? And thank you so much for being so generous for your time here to chat with us."
We crank it on 15. No, no, I mean, the gain is kind of jacked. The volume, there's a magic spot about 3, but it kind of depends on the venue. I mean, if it's a big place, I could turn it up a little. If it's a little place, I got to turn it down some. But the nice thing is with the master volume, it doesn't really lose the tone as much. A little bit of the, how to term it, the girth, the oomph of it, you might lose a hair, but yeah, it's not that ridiculously loud. And Variac, no, you don't need them on those. They're for older, like 60s and early 70s amps. They're really, you don't need them on 800s and above. There's no sense running them really. I mean, I guess you could dial your amp down a little bit, but you'd have to get it rebiased.
hmm Okay. Darren says, "How'd you acquire the job with Warren? It was through management, correct?"
Payola. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was same management company. So
Let's see here.
don't know if
Okay.
I've officially have it yet, but all right, I've done one and have a second one scheduled. I'm gonna miss a couple because of being overseas, but we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you on the side of the stage. I'll be envious upon every shot, sir.
Oh, believe me,
Uh,
dude, I can't wait for M3. It's a blast.
just so it's good. That's going to be amazing. What kind of strings those guys prefer? So John went through all that. I watched the replay. I don't want to keep John here all night. We're answering questions. We answered that question. It was 9-42. DeMartini's playing. Nuno's playing a 52 to 9. You said. A
Yeah,
52. Yeah, and then George is playing
9.5 to 44.
9.5 to 44. Let's see here. Greg says, thanks for sharing your stories and guitar technology on the 80s Guitar Heroes. Thanks, 40, for having John on. Hey, man, John's a great guy for spending his time with me tonight. Let's see here. See what else I have. I'm going to do a, let's see here. See if
Trying
there's
to look at the
anything.
side too.
What's that?
I'm trying to look at the side too, where have
Yeah. Oh, here we go. John, it's so cool to hear from the inside perspective. You seem really chill and cool.
I thank you.
So let's see here. Oh boy, yeah. I got more. See here. Does George still use the stone tone blocks? I tried once and it wasn't my thing. Prefer the FU tone fat brass block.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything with it on it. I don't remember seeing those in a minute.
Okay. I can only imagine getting to hang out with George and Nuno all day. Talk about the dream job.
It's torture, man. No,
This is so awesome.
both of them, actually, all three of them, awesome people. So
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, John, we're at an hour and 42 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up for you because I know it's late back there on the East Coast. I just want to go through one thing real quick. I'm going to do a giveaway tonight. So,
what do I
Nate,
get?
if you, I'll take care of you. Don't go,
I'm just kidding.
don't go leaving me until, once we hang up, don't hang up. I'm going to
I'll hang up. All right, bye. No.
Yeah, no. Don't hang up. When I stop the show, just stay in the green room. I need to talk to you.
Okay.
Let's see here. I want to present this.
Do we get snacks?
Yeah, snacks. Yeah, in the green room. Yeah, it's so funny.
I'm gonna do in Arizona teas.
I'm gonna do a giveaway tonight. I'm gonna do a 40 grit hat, 40 grit sticker, and I got 4 guitar picks. Your choice, 72 or 60 millimeter. So I got my boy. He's going to set up the giveaway tool here. So if you were in, I'm not going to ship overseas. So I apologize to my overseas guys. But, continental United States only. And if you end up winning, just shoot me an email and, shoot me your address and I'll make sure you get it. So you'll get a 40 grit hat tonight, a 40 grit sticker, and 4 guitar picks. So
hope to see the overseas guys at some point too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love doing that. Oh.
So I'm Bub, if you want to start that giveaway, we'll run the giveaway tool. And then if you guys have any further questions for John, I'm going to touch on those real quick. And then we will get you guys out of here and go enjoy your, let's see here. At John, what's your favorite brand of guitar to work on?
Oh man, I'm kind of biased like ESP right now. I mean, that's pretty much what I have a bunch of, and I'm hooked up with them. The N4s are great too. Pretty much though, I've been dealing with ESPs for the longest time.
Yeah, understood. All right, Bub, let's run the giveaway tool, and then we're gonna call this a night. And again, man, John, it's just been great having you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been all good, dude. It's been fun.
Chuck C, you're the winner. Chuck C, go ahead and email me 40gritguitars@gmail.com. Congratulations. Please specify 60 or 72 millimeter on the picks, and then I'll get you that box out. It'll probably go out sometime this weekend, so just hang in there.
Brand, all.
All. Yeah. Oh yeah. I favorite brand, all.
Yeah.
To see Joe McGraw says, very cool, John. Dream job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Everybody's saying congratulations to Chuck for winning the hat and the picks. Griffin James Music says, thanks, John, and thanks, Mike. Hey guys,
thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Hey, John, thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
This will be good for the replays.
And hopefully you see it shows.
Yeah, don't be afraid to say hi to John at the shows, right, John?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John, stay in the chat, guys. I will see you later. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. We'll see you. I don't know when my next one will be, but we'll see you on the next one. See you.